It's day 4 of Black History Month and the girls are already screaming misinformation. So today, let me educate you on the actual history of immigration in the United States. First and foremost, slaves were not immigrants. And I know that sounds like common sense to some of you, but I've been seeing a lot of people equate slavery to immigration. It's not the same thing. Slavery, the transatlantic slave trade to be specific, was a forced migration of peoples and an enslavement of said peoples for centuries, okay? For a long periodically time, girl. In the same way that we cannot claim that indigenous people voluntarily left their native lands and took the Trail of Tears to the Midwest, okay? We cannot say that West Africans voluntarily got on slave ships and came to the United States and were kept in captivity. Now, mass migration to the United States did not jump off into the mid to late 1800s because we have what during that time, class? The Civil War, 1861 to 1865, which also includes the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed the slaves. Now, it's very important to note that the mass immigration during the 1800s is primarily immigration from Europe, okay? These are European immigrants, not black and brown, not immigrants in the way that they like to pose immigration as we see it today, okay? And even then, there were a lot of stipulations, a lot of discrimination and prejudice that went into determining who could come to America, who could be an American citizen or be naturalized and all of that. Think Irish people, think Polish people, people who were fleeing catastrophe and disasters in Europe to come to America. Those are the type of people I want you to think of. Now, immigration as we imagine it today, the immigration of black and brown people did not begin in mass until the 1960s, because what do we have during this time, class? The civil rights era, okay, which was 1954 to 1968, right? So during this time, we also get this beautiful thing called the Immigration and Nationalities Act of 1965, which opened the door to more immigrants from varying ethnic backgrounds, from varying countries to come over and become citizens of the United States. And I don't want to discredit earlier waves of non-white immigrants. However, I want to be very clear that when Chinese immigrants came over in the mid-1800s, they came over as laborers, okay? And they were primarily used for that. And afterwards, while some stayed, many of them were forced to go back to China. I really implore you, before you make a comment, right, to do some research, okay, actual historical research, not ChatGPT, girl, do a little bit of research, do your Googles, and then come back and share what you learned with the class, okay?